How do you cut an access hole in a chipboard floor? Like this? Like this? Or like this? And what about pipes or wires underneath? How do you make good the floor afterwards? The Routabout hole cutter solves a problem found by all builders, plumbers, electricians and many others. How to cut an access hole in a chipboard floor without damaging the pipes or wires and make a quick and neat repair. Let's see how it works. You'll need a Routabout template and chipboard screw. A Routabout special tungsten carbide cutter. And a Routabout spacer ring to make good the floor. You'll need one of these rings for each hole you cut. All of this comes in a handy starter kit. You will also need a standard plunging type router, 750 watts or above, fitted with a 30mm outside diameter template guide bush. In this case, we've attached a dust extraction hose. Now we'll use the Routabout to cut an access hole. Locate the template on the floor where access is required. Screw the template tight to the floor. Then release the screw quarter of a turn to allow the template to rotate freely. Check for nails in the path of the cutter and move the template if necessary. Place the router fitted with a special cutter onto the template, locating the guide bush into the guide hole on the template. Start the router and plunge the cutter partway into the floor. 3 to 5 millimeters should do, and lock it in position. Rotate the router and template 1 full revolution in a clockwise direction. Then repeat cutting at increased depths until the cutter finally bottoms out on its depth stop. Remember, making the cut in at least 3 passes will lengthen the life of the cutter and reduce strain on the router and operator. Switch off the router, release the plunge lock and remove from the template. Finally, to make good the floor, clear away any dust, insert the Routabout spacer ring and place the piece of chipboard you cut out inverted into the ring. You can see the advantages in using the Routabout. The tool can be used by a relatively unskilled person to give a perfect job. An access hole can be cut and made good in minutes. The cutter only cuts the thickness of the board, thus obviating the risk of damage to surfaces below. There is no waste. The cutout is used to make good the floor, and there's no need for additional support. The repair is neat, flush, and doesn't creak. Subsequent access is easy and always available. It enables builders, plumbers, and electricians to comply with statutory regulations regarding access to concealed services. Remember a few useful tips. Remove nails in the path of the cutter or move the template. A number of shallow passes will give a better finish. Judge the feed rate by the sound of the motor. Take care of the cutters. Keep them sharp to reduce motor overload. The cutter shank should be inserted at least 3/4 of its length. Don't over-tighten the router collet. Always use protection goggles and mask. Switch off power and unplug your router when changing the cutter or accessories. Always apply the usual precautions when working with power tools and read your router instruction book. It's a whole lot easier with the Routabout.